Hey guys, in today's episode we go over the Clash Royale dev team's future plans for the game. The Clash Royale League is coming to a close and this meta is getting weirder and weirder. All that and more in today's episode of Clash Worlds. Hey guys, Legendaray here, and welcome back to another episode of Clash Worlds. In this weekly show, we take a look at the most recent announcements from the Clash Royale team, the hottest topics in CR eSports, as well as what's going on in the community. Then, we'll finish off the episode by breaking down the meta and featuring my off-meta Deck of the Week. If you're enjoying Clash Worlds, then please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of every new video that comes out. Also, go check me out on Instagram and Twitter, and with that out of the way, let's get right into the first section. New in the Arena. New in the Arena is where we find out about what the Supercell team has been up to this past week. This week, Clash Royale hasn't put out too much news about what's coming in the next Clash Royale update. In fact, we've got almost no concrete hints, and I'm pretty sure the dev team has just started putting together what Clash Royale's next update is going to be. However, Clash Royale recently did a very long interview with Seth, who is one of the heads of the Clash Royale balance team, and they talked about, the general process behind new balances, new cards, as well as the direction that Clash Royale wants to take the game. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Balances. So Clash Royale approaches balances very systematically. One way they approach balances is card specific. If a card has super high use and win rates, then it's going to go on a list to be tested. Right now, a list of those cards can be Witch and Wall Breakers. The second way, which is slightly less common, is when they target a specific deck archetype. If a specific deck archetype is noted to be way overpowered, then the team will focus on specifically what aspects of this deck archetype are overpowered and then balance those cards accordingly. Now these tests will then be implemented and tested by a group of Clash Royale playtesters who then play thousands of games and give feedback to the dev team on how to refine these balances and make them as good as possible. This means that the balances will have so many games of testing before they're actually implemented, which is honestly very nice in my opinion. And recent balances have been heading in the right direction. Just taking a look at the October balances, the cards that they changed seemed very, very good. As for the effectiveness, then but at least it's a step in the right direction. Now as for cards on the rework radar, we've definitely got a few interesting cards in store. First, we've got Barb Hut. Now, of course, they're testing a Barb Hut rework, but they're still iffy on whether or not it's gonna get implemented, just because, the Barb Hut's gonna be an annoying card when it's meta. Next up, they also have a plan for the Bowler, which could be a great counter to Siege, as it does a little more damage towards buildings. But, Siege isn't very good in this meta anyways, so, I don't know. There's also the Zappies, who they want to be a little better at splitting lanes. They also have Fire Spirits, who have a super low use rate, but is still seen in Furnace quite a bit. And last but not least, of course, there's the Wizard, who is super popular and super good on the ladder, but lacks the same efficacy at a tournament standard. Let me know your thoughts on some of these cards in the comment section below. Next, Seth talked about some new cards. New cards are also beginning to become harder and harder to design. This is because the goal of the dev team is for each new card to feel different than any other card. Elixir Golem, completely new different mechanic. In order for these mechanics to feel new and refreshing, it takes a lot of time to get right. And even though the Elixir Golem seems a little bit overpowered at the moment, it's still a very refreshing card to play, at least for now. Clash Royale has killed a lot of card concepts in the past, and recently they've begun to bring quite a few of these concepts back, but with a twist. So, maybe in the future I'll make a video covering some of these killed card concepts, and who knows, maybe some of them may be added to the game in the future. And last but not least, we've got some hints on future updates. So, first off, of course, the big topic is Clan Wars. Clan Wars, according to Seth, is the biggest priority of the Clash Royale team right now, but it's probably not going to be coming in the next Clash Royale update. This is because it's honestly really hard to actually fix Clan Wars. Making the game more free to play, adding leagues, and adding better matchmaking will help, but only for a few weeks at most. It's basically just like the ladder system. Once you push high enough, you're still going to be overleveled no matter what. So there's not too much that you can do in that aspect. So what the team really is focusing on is a long-term major overhaul to the system. They want to make sure that this is a feature that not only improves the clan and community aspect of the game, but it also helps players get more involved as well. So, I mean, as much as I would love a Clan Wars update right now, and as much as it pains me to say this, just be patient. And last but not least, we also have the one deck problem. This is the other main focus of the dev team right now, and I think Seth sums it up pretty well here.
Now, I think you could argue that the difference between something like Golem and Expo and Logbait are so different that if you were to play them back to back to back, you would feel like you were almost playing 3 different games. And I think that's good. I think it's good that players get the opportunity to do that. So it's our job as the game team to provide those opportunities and make it worthwhile for the player to play multiple different decks.
Again, not sure exactly what they have in mind in the future to specifically solve these issues, but again, at least we know that they have the correct goal in mind and are working to try and find a good solution as soon as possible without ruining the game economy completely. Now that's going to do it for New in the Arena. It's time to check out the eSports update. The eSports update is a segment where we take a look at the new and rising pro players as well as recent eSports competitions. This week, we're winding down on the last few weeks of CRL West before playoffs. First things first, SK Gaming is still on a perfect 9-0 record and have now secured their '1 spot as well as a spot in the Clash Royale World Finals, which will be occurring in LA. Liquid also has a pretty good lead over everyone else, and heading towards the middle, you can see right now that NRG does clinch that last spot into playoffs. On the other hand, the bottom 3 teams are officially eliminated, so we'll have to see how they regroup themselves going into the next season of CRL. Now that we're caught up on the most recent esports news, let's check out the rising rumors. This week we still got quite a few pros dissatisfied in this meta, and I can't help but feel bad for them. This tweet by Javi14 sums it up pretty well. All the CRL players are saying that Witch and Wallbreakers need an emergency nerf, and we don't want to play the playoffs this month with this meta. It's not fair that we can lose the whole season playing rock, paper, scissors. And again, this brings a very good point. While this meta may be slightly better for casual players, it's not as good for the pro community base. This CRL is going to be a hodgepodge of Witch, Elixir Golem, and Wallbreakers, and I'm not sure if that's the kind of gameplay we all want to see, and also it is a little bit rock, paper, scissors as well. So yeah, this meta is definitely pretty weird right now, so let's go ahead and break it down. This week's meta is by far the weirdest meta in the entire game. Starting off, Wallbreakers are meta. They're seen in minor control decks as well as Mega Knight decks, and I mean, those 2 Elixir cards are just so valuable as they require such a fast reaction as well as such a specific counter to fully stop, and it's super hard to stop even one of them from connecting to the tower. In addition, those 2 Elixir cards almost always require more than 2 Elixir to counter, so that makes it even more appealing to use this card, being able to generate an Elixir advantage each defense. Next up, we've got the Sparky. With all the major tanks, including Elixir Golem, Mega Knight, as well as many medium support units such as Fisherman, Night Witch, and Witch, the Sparky really excels in a meta that actually lacks significant ways to reset Sparky. She's mainly seen nowadays in this weird Elixir Golem Witch deck, and that's pretty much the only deck she's seen in, but oh, is that deck popular. And I mean, those are just the 2 main archetypes you see. The rest of the meta is just a complete mix of Witches, Mega Knights, Bomb Tower, Wallbreakers, Miner, Executioner, you name it. I mean, what in the world is this meta? Now that's the meta for you guys. Now let's check out the off-meta deck of the week. That's right, in each Clash Royale episode, we're going to be featuring one off-meta deck that works in the current meta. This week's deck was submitted by Walada Casamigo Conceptu, sorry about butchering your name by the way, and it's a somewhat classic Golem deck, because somehow this Golem deck isn't meta, but this stuff is. So, I mean, with this deck, you're basically playing it like a classic Golem deck. By essentially, playing defensively during the first few minutes, you're able to counter push and get a ton of value, and the goal ultimately is to steamroll your opponents with one huge push. The Skeleton Barrel adds an aspect of Zap Bait along with the Night Witch because, those increased death spawns actually make her a lot harder to deal with. Pretty solid deck, so let's go ahead and hop into a match. Alright, so hopping into this match, we're going to be against Mohamed Riza, And yeah, starting off this match here, of course we're gonna be a little bit more passive. We are playing a golem deck after all, so you know what you want to do is play a little more reactively. And here he goes in with a giant. I'll just go ahead and go with a golem. Now the reason I go in with a golem is actually because, you know, the golem will tank for pretty much any support unit, and you know, maybe the death damage will help take those out as well. So yeah, we'll also go with a Night Witch here. That'll definitely help with DPSing down all of this stuff. And oh god, it's a... oh, okay. So we're basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait really long until we zap this out. And there we go. We might lose our tower, actually. Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to lose this tower right out the bat. But let's see if we're actually able to make something come out of this counter push here. So we've got a Skeleton Barrel in right here. And I don't know if he has a spell or not. And if he doesn't, then that's going to be really good for us. Actually, it zaps out a cycle, but no, he's got a log, so that's not a good start at all. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and see if we can maybe make a comeback heading into the second half of this match. So let's just go ahead, play it chill here. Of course, we are using a golem deck, so let's go ahead and go with the tombstone right there towards the back. And yeah, okay, he's going to go with the witch in the back. We're just going to go ahead, kind of rinse and repeat, and go in with our golem right here. So let's see here. This is gonna be really difficult. So let's see how we're supposed to defend this. I think we're just gonna kind of rinse and repeat, go in with a Night Witch right here. And this time we can go ahead and poison onto the graveyard, and that should be able to take that out. And nice and easily, there we go. And let's go and zap out those skeletons as well, and hopefully, oh my god, the witch spawned more skeletons, that sucks. But yeah, hopefully the witch will go down and go into double elixir time. Here's where we kind of have to turn on the heat. So let's see, let's go and reload with a tombstone. That'll help us cycle back to the golem. And okay, you're just gonna go with a Night Witch in the back. So let's go and go with a golem right there. And let's follow that up with a Night Witch as well. Let's go ahead and get our poison and cycle. Okay, we're lagging. Let's not lag. And yeah, we'll go ahead and go with a poison right there. He's going to go in with a graveyard, but that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and go with a baby dragon as well. That'll help DPS this stuff down. And let's follow it up with a skeleton barrel. So the goal is to build up as big of a push as we can. Let's go ahead and zap this stuff out. And yeah, there we go. We've got a big push going in there. 20 seconds left. We're going to have to like kind of spam a cannon cart right at the bridge right there. And come on, we have to connect here. Okay, cannon cart's on the tower. Let's go with a poison spell. Okay, tower's going to go down. So yeah, 10 seconds left. We've got a good amount of damage actually on the on his left tower. So this is actually looking not too bad. So here, let's see here. His bats are going to go down. Let's go in right here with a skeleton barrel push right here. And follow it up with a golem to tank for everything. We got a cannon cart on the king tower right there. And let's see. Let's go with a baby dragon in the center as well. Because we obviously have a cheap way to pull the giant to the king tower in our tombstone. So there we go. Golem's on the tower, and with that poison spell and the golem, that should be able to DPS that down. So GG right there. As you can see, you know, he didn't have too many ways to actually stop the golem, and so we were actually just able to get that golem straight to the tower and deal a crap load of damage. So there we go, guys. That was the off-minute deck of the week. I definitely recommend you guys give this deck a try. It's really good. Golem's not that popular, and a lot of players just simply are not prepared. If you want to submit your own deck to be featured, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. But unfortunately, guys, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this is Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.